And obviously, hello Robert. I hope I'm just in time for your 500 subscribers contest. I don't want to make it an habit to just, to be late or to be just in the nick of time, but you know that I think Ottavio said that there's a lot of going on in the VC and there's contests and threads and everything, and you should show your collection. So, you know, but how can I miss your contest, Robert? You are such a good friend of mine, and your videos are so funny and so interesting. So you asked us to show you our Grails and to freak out. Well, I'm a bit freaking out, but I'll tell you about it later. For me, Grail should be a record that is sought after. It should be rare. This is the first condition to be Grail for me. But the second thing about it, for me, I need to like it. I need to like the music, I need to like the cover, I need to like the record. And if I'm not liking it, it's not a Grail for me. I'm not thinking about even to collect it. So what are my Grails? I picked, I picked 5 Grails that, well, this is the freaking out factor for me, that are all Israeli artists. So you probably won't recognize them or the music, apart from just one record, the last one. And when I show it to you, you will recognize it. But I've also picked one that everybody knows, at least the band, the group that I like so much, the Beatles. And this one is, of course, an Israeli Beatles, the Beatles in Italy, that I've shown in one of my previous videos. It was my best album of the Beatles that I've got. It's the Beatles in Italy, Israeli made, the champagne cover. This one is in immaculate condition, mint condition, and I just show it to you because it's the original one, and it is on the, as many people know, in Israel, and many people outside Israel, as the yellow and black parlophone, yellow and black parlophone label. There it is, okay. And on the other side is a 1965 compilation album that was made in Italy and in the Netherlands, Holland, and in Israel, but only in Israel. It's with the champagne cover, laminated cover, flip back cover, yellow, black parlophone, great album, great music, and great cover, and it's rare to find it, this version in this immaculate condition. And it's not ultra mega rare, but it's pretty rare and pretty expensive to find an original, not a fake one, because there are a lot of fakes on the internet and eBay. But this is the real deal, the real McCoy, as you can say. So let's get on to my other Grails, which are, of course, Israeli one. The first one is a single by this guy. He is now not is dead now. His name is Zohar Argov. Well, he belongs to the what is considered as Oriental music, Mediterranean Arabic influence kind of music sung in Hebrew, and he is considered today as the king of Oriental Israeli music. Now, this single is his debut single, well, the only single that he made 7-inch, and it's not an Oriental sound music, it's rock influence record, which is very unusual for Zohar Argov. and it is, well, let's say it's on the Coliphone label, but it's somewhat private pressing, somewhat, and only few were made back in '77 when this record was released. And this copy is very unusual also because it has the stamp of a radio station, a pirate radio station back in Israel during the '70s, the Voice of Peace. This was a pirate station on a boat on the Mediterranean. And the other unusual factor is that the writing here is by a very famous Oriental lady singer by the name of Ova Ozeri. And she say that he's his cousin. It's a cousin, which I don't know for a fact, but she said he's a cousin because he's a new singer. She want the producer of the programs in the Voice of Peace to broadcast this singer. So this one is very unique, very rare, and few were made. And you see here, it's a bit torn here, and I just laugh because you see his water and watermark, and it was on ship, so maybe it was a bit got drowned on in the sea, in the Mediterranean Sea, but it's so unusual. This is a grail, definitely a grail for me. Next are all LPs, and the first of the LP is by this singer. His name is Yoram Arbel. Yoram Arbel is now a famous TV presenter, sport TV presenter, and this is his only album. From 1970, I think, or no, 71, from 1971, and it's considered one of the most vibrant and brilliant pop rock album. Not many records were made for this singer, although there is a major hit here. You and I and the Sunshine. No. The one that was it was I'll paint the autumn leaves green. I'll paint the autumn leaves green. And it's Bait HaShalekhet B'Yarok in Hebrew. And it's just great album, great music, and I don't know, so few of them were made, and it's considered much sought after in Israel. Many people will give a lot to obtain this album. Next is a bit less rare, but not really less good than Yoram Arbel. It's the beat band, the Israeli beat band Uzi and the Styles. Uzi was singing not in Hebrew, and the song here are some of them are in English, some of them are in Hebrew. And some of the members are Israelis, some of the members are from the United Kingdom, and well, see how nice is the cover, laminated cover by Uzi and the Styles, one of the great rhythm group from Israel back in the early 70s, yes. The third album that I'm going to show from an Israeli artist is Pupik or Pupik Arnon. Everyone is the name of the album. This is a Beatles influenced album by a singer that was backed by a beat group that I will later show my final album, my final Grail here. This is a great Beatles influenced album, very rare one. Not many were bought back in the days, back in 1969, I think, when it was released. And laminated cover, beautiful cover. Many people want this album in Israel. Pupik Arnon. another very special or nice factor to this album or singer, that now this guy is become religious orthodox, and is a rabbi. While back the early 70s, he was belonged to the pop culture in Israel, and this is very strange. Rabbi Pupik is now called Rabbi Pupik, Rabbi Arnon. Pupik Arnon, my fifth Grail, and my last Grail, where Robert, you should remember it, the Churchills. Well, this is the album that is being considered as the holy grail of them all in Israel, because this is the original album from 1969. It's considered as one of the great psychedelic era in the world. It's being sold on eBay on ridiculous amount of money, and this is the original one, the real McCoy with beautiful shape, the record and the label and the cover, just brilliant. You should listen to it. I've sent a VCLT not long ago to Robert, and I think it's a great band. It's a great album by a band that later released also two others albums, great albums in Britain. But this one is an Israeli-made album, rarer than rare, mega rare Israeli album, and it is the only grail of them all in Israel for an Israeli artist, the Churchills. Well, that's it, Robert. I hope you've enjoyed my Grails. I hope you will get many other subscribers, more than 500. I think 1,000 is just at the corner, let's say. So until next time, bye bye from Eli.